All right, so this is our second official TDS podcast. This is Isaac. I'm sure most people know him, but we're glad to have him. It's nice to have him on here.
He is the fourth member of TDS.
And also an extremely argumentative human being.
TDS is simple.
Saying that does not give him the credit he really deserves.
Last week was like 3/4 of TDS. We got
everybody.
We got the whole thing now.
This is everybody.
All right, so we're gonna start off by talking about the legalization of marijuana, which
You heard.
we also have a huge topic coming up after that should be extremely interesting. So make sure you stick around.
That's gonna be lit.
Yeah,
I
I'm
cannot
really
wait.
excited.
Anyway,
we've already actually.
Oh, hey, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. It's just TDS, all caps, because we uploaded a vlog yesterday, and it's doing pretty good. But and if you check it out, make sure you like and subscribe.
And
thumbs up.
real quick before we start, I just saw today that it was officially a year ago that Anthony Bourdain died. And
Rip.
Rest in peace.
that sucks. Complete ass. And shout out Coors Light as well. R.I.P.
We
Anthony
could use a
Bourdain.
sponsor.
Damn it, man.
The mountains are blue.
Yeah, always. All right. Anyway, so how do we want to get into this?
I say, why don't we go around and kind of everybody say where they stand on it?
All right, you start, Chris.
Well,
Most people know where you stand, but
Yeah.
well, yeah, but the thing with me though is obviously, I mean, I smoke weed, but it's not just for recreational use. Is the reason why I think it should be legalized. There's a lot of people out here that are suffering from conditions, illnesses, seizures that could live a better life if it was legalized medicinally. It's not hurting anybody. I mean, I'm sitting here drinking a beer. I fucking love beer. It's amazing. But it's 30 million times more dangerous. It's just the right thing to do economically. And there's children involved. These kids that are having these seizures, like 10, 15 seizures a day, and all it takes is a little fucking oil, you know,
from a plant.
from
Not
a
something
plant
that people are creating.
that's from the earth.
Yeah.
So I think real quick we can all go around and say, you're for the legalization.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
You're for the.
I mean,
I am.
Without a doubt.
even excluding recreational use, it just doesn't make sense for it to not be legal, considering the things that are.
I feel like my main reason for thinking that it should be is if something like alcohol can be legal, and there's more deaths from alcohol alone in the U.S. every year than there are from weed, I don't understand why it wouldn't be legal when there's also more health benefits associated with it. Like, it's not just used, I feel like, by most people to get high. They're using it for a better purpose.
Well, they have that.
See, that's the thing. Like, alcohol. Now, as far as like alcohol for medical reasons, that can help. I know, but as far as like other uses, this is a genuine question. Are there other like real uses, beneficial uses of alcohol that
Like
you
just
can,
like beer, like liquor,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I
I know like rubbing alcohol.
I know people have always said
said
like a glass of wine a day does something,
Right,
but you
right.
know, like
It's
outside
good
of
for
that,
like cardiovascular stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
I know
it's
you
good for
guys.
your
We
heart.
talked about it, but we
Yeah.
can talk about it on stream. Like the people with Parkinson's,
Mhm.
we know where they shake and stuff, and they'll smoke or whatever. I don't know
Could we
what
clip?
they did.
Could we
but-
clip that video in here? On YouTube, could we post that, like the video of the dude before, like where he can't even pick something up without his hand shaking, and then afterwards he's
Yeah, we probably
fully
could.
functional?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
YouTube
just
video, we
that's
probably
miraculous.
Yeah,
we could
that's
probably
crazy.
just put it in
That's
there. So
crazy.
if we're able to, I'll put it in there.
Yeah.
But
that's insane.
but yeah. What's up, Eric?
Yo.
What's up, Thomas?
What up, Tom? But yeah, like just seeing that, and then like also we were talking about before we started the story of the girl and her family, and she had some disease. I don't know what it was, but it was like all over the news a few years ago, and they were from Wilmington. And they
Yeah.
had to move to Colorado because that's where it was legalized, and that saved her life because like every day apparently she would use. I don't know if it was CBD or like what it was.
No, I believe it was actually like a derivative off the pot plant. Like it was from the plant.
Don't say derivative, dude. Taking calculus,
please
bro.
don't
Yeah,
do that.
God, that's negative.
I love you.
thoughts.
Anyway.
I never fucking took calculus. Derived from my ass. But no, like I think it was like a specific thing from the plant that they took the THC out of. I guess it basically is CBD.
Yeah.
But still, like, I mean, that just goes to show you, like, we got to step this fucking game up, guys. Like, it's 2019. Like, some of the original documents in this country were wrote on hemp paper.
Yeah, it's
And we just, like, cycle backwards. It just seems like we're always going backwards.
Well, I mean, and excluding the like the medical uses for it. Think about how many jobs it would create. Jobs that are going to positively affect our GDP.
Bro, like
Exactly.
agriculture,
Yeah,
distribution.
I mean, because
Exactly. That's what I'm
people
saying,
selling
bro.
marijuana illegally obviously isn't going to be calculated into the GDP. That money flow isn't calculated into it. But if you open a business and you sell it legally, that's going to help our economy.
Yeah.
It's going to give more people jobs. I mean, you see every politician, every time there's a presidential election or any election, they're always talking about how I'm going to create jobs by doing this, this, and this. Well, I mean, it's about time somebody said, I'm going to create jobs by legalizing marijuana because it would create a ton of jobs.
It'd probably be like $1 trillion market.
You know how much
It would be
fucking
like,
farmland we have in this state alone?
it did for real. Like
We're the tobacco excuse me, Jesus. We're the tobacco state for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, think of like how many. I don't even know where I was going.
I mean, just think about all the different parts. I mean, you have the people who own the shops, the people who manufacture it in, like, I guess factories or whatever. Those are jobs. The people who grow it and, like, plant it, grow it, farm it, all that, cultivate it, and then they send. I mean, that's 3 levels of jobs that are opened up right
So think of that, and then I got what I was going to say. It's like, think of how many people tonight are going to go get beer at a store, or go out and drink beer at a bar or something like that. Think of how many people that are doing that, and then could you imagine, like, if there were dispensaries, which there are obviously already
But
in
not everywhere.
California,
Yeah.
Colorado. Could you imagine, though, like, if you could go to the store just like you go to the gas station, 5 minutes, and you can go get marijuana that, I mean, obviously, like, there's recreational uses, and a lot of people do use it for that, but just like we talked about a minute ago, like, there are people that actually can benefit from the legalization of it. So it's like more than just what it can do for the economy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what it can actually do to benefit people.
Right.
Another thing about it is, if you've looked, and I'm pretty sure y'all could fact check me on this, in all of the states where
Cow's
marijuana,
fart method.
where marijuana has been legalized in these states, there is a direct correlation, and it's positive in less crime in those states since the legalization of marijuana.
Yeah, I mean, because you're taking one of the largest factors of people who are imprisoned and making it legal.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
So-
like when they did that, they said you saw a lot of hate-related crimes go down. The rate of people drinking and driving and like drinking accidents involved went down because there's an alternative to it. Like,
Right.
when's the last time you saw somebody who was smoking weed and they wanted to fight somebody or be angry
Well,
or
the times that
Yeah.
they have were just because it was already in that person.
exactly,
Yeah.
they were going to do it regardless.
It had nothing, like, the effect was not from pot.
15 viewers, appreciate it, guys. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no
out.
doubt.
But it's just like, for me, like, I haven't really been around many people that were high. But in my experience, like, people that are high, they're like sitting on the couch, like, got the munchies.
We're not going to be aggressive.
Yeah,
versus,
I was gonna say,
like,
you're not like
versus, you know, I've been around people that are drunk too. It's like, their energy is so, like, they're over the top, they're screaming, they're like breaking stuff, which I'm not sitting here like trying to say that drinking is bad
Yeah.
and all that stuff. That's not the point I'm trying to make at
people
all.
have been
Because,
drinking
bro,
forever.
like, it's drinking.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with having some beers or even, you know, getting drunk, you know, depending on the situation.
In
I
a
guess.
controlled
Every
In a controlled
weekend.
manner, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So, like, I'm not trying to slander people that drink at all. I'm not trying to put that across.
Man, I fucking know
Um,
you were.
But But yeah, like I just say personally, like I would probably prefer to be around someone that was like high versus drunk, just because they're chilled out. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And a lot of times too, I can be around people that are drunk and they're
think
cool.
about people, which I don't know how the laws work about smoking in public, even where it is legal. But think about people who go out to a bar, get drunk, and then obviously they could call Uber or a Lyft or whatever and go home, but they're like, well, I'm not going to pay for it. I don't have anywhere to leave my car.
No.
So they're like, well, I'll just drive home. Next thing you know, the next day they're on the news because they wrecked from drinking and driving.
Yeah.
So it's just like, if they had an alternative they could do and be safe about it, it just doesn't make any sense for that alternative not to be an option.
Yeah.
I mean, and let me be like completely like super honest.
L-Doggy's trying to have Chris twisted on the strings.
Like for real, like being 100% super honest, like everybody that smokes knows that there are strains out there that get you tore the fuck up. And you know, and don't get me wrong, I've been there a few times to where I'm so damn high that I probably shouldn't be driving. But you still have to have the human, like, your conscience has to be intact. You have to be aware of certain things at all points in times. Like just when you're drinking, so you have 4 or 5 beers at the bar, and you're like, damn, I could probably get a ride home, and I should. And you're like, well, do I drive or do I not?
Yeah.
It's like, for me, the bar I go to, everybody knows is 100 Main, so it's right down the road. So if I'm tore up because I'm being an idiot or something, then I can just call one of y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
Or my parents.
Yeah.
I feel like alcohol gives a lot of false confidence. Like you're really not good to drive.
It's called liquid courage for a reason.
Yeah, but when you start drinking, all of a sudden you start thinking you're good enough to drive.
Oh fuck yeah, you're invincible.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I've got a DUI and wrecked my car.
Yeah.
Great.
But I think like,
Hey, you learn.
yeah, you really do like,
It's life.
Take an L and move on.
yeah, like I don't know, you make decisions and then they don't turn out to be the smartest decisions, but
Well, like Chris was saying, he was like, you still have to be in your right mind, even if you have smoked and not drank. Because, I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons that it's not legal everywhere is because they don't know how to test somebody when they pull them over.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you can just breathalyze somebody if they've been drinking,
Right.
but there's no way to test.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's our invention, guys. That's
That-
our $1 million invention.
That'd be nice.
The only way you can test
I can't be the
Yeah.
reason why potheads get busted.
Too bad we're all
I'm not
we're all
12.
business students though, so
Yeah.
I need to meet somebody who can come up with that, and then we can just help fund
Yeah,
it.
let's get a collab going.
I feel like the biggest reason though, like with the U.S.
Hey, what's up, Alex?
is
18 viewers. 18 viewers. Appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah, thanks so much.
I feel like
Hey, don't forget to follow so you can be up to date every time we go live.
Yeah.
Oh
right.
shit! And Alex just I gotta throw this out there. Alex just commented Misfits. You would fucking know, you G, because you took me to see the Misfits the only time I ever seen them. I'll never forget that shit. Speaking of weed,
Did you guys go to the North Pole, man?
the North Pole.
Yeah, Island of Misfits. That's so cute. That's so cute, bro. But
But
also, seriously, let us know that there's 18 of you guys here, 16. Make sure the audio is good because we tested it like all afternoon and it was perfect.
and it kind of jumped
did
back and
one
forth
test.
sometimes though. Yeah.
We did one test before we started and it was janky again. So please, if there's an issue, just let us know.
Yeah. We really appreciate that because we obviously want to be or have the best quality content.
Right.
Yeah, because we love you guys.
yeah.
Of course.
Also, while we're just like transitioning, I guess. Speaking of the video we posted it on Thursday, right?
Yeah. Or no, we posted it yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, we posted it yesterday at
This
8:30
this
or
week's
something.
So
on
Friday.
by
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, it was like a vlog, and we're gonna try and make at least one of those a week. Probably one of those and 1 to 2 podcasts a week. But on that, like our YouTube channel, honestly, I don't even know what the ad for it is because it's like TDS, but
Yeah.
it's so hard to find. Like
Yeah.
it's better to type in like TDS podcast episode 1, and you'll find
So
this
there's a
on
little
there.
echo right now.
Okay.
Let us know if
Said
it
it was
keeps
perfect.
echoing.
He said it was perfect then.
Okay.
Anyways,
But,
but yeah. So just the best way to look up the video is to go to the YouTube search bar and type in TDS podcast space EP space 1, and that should pull up a picture of our account. Our account's name is just TDS. So that's the easiest way to get to it. And if you like the videos, don't forget to subscribe so you can be updated every time we upload a new one.
Yep. But we were talking about like why weed should be legalized and what the economic benefits.
We've hit the majority of the points.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, appreciate it.
Cool. But we can get into it, the argument. So it's in the title, so like people are gonna know what.
You read the
we're
title,
talking
you can tell what we're about to talk
But
about.
God, I'm so passionate about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Me and
Lord.
Isaac have already argued about this a little bit.
I'm fresh to this. I haven't
because
the only thing they know is which side I lean towards.
So listen, we go to Charlotte, and I guess we were just
Bored.
college kids one day.
Very bored.
And
Have a lot of time.
we're like, who would win in a fight? A grizzly bear or a gorilla?
A silverback gorilla. Like
basic fucking facts.
a grown man, like huge gorilla.
It's basic fucking facts.
Okay. So, first, I guess we can start off by going around a circle. Chris, you start saying who do you believe would win?
You gotta give a definition. Just say who would win.
Just say
So
which
don't
one.
give an explanation. Just say who you think would win.
Silverback.
Okay, yeah, silverback gorilla.
Silverback gorilla.
That's not like fucking stupid.
Yeah, for real.
Grizzly bear.
Okay, all right. Give us your argument, and then we'll prove it all wrong.
No, that's
Since there's three of us, I don't want you to have to like bounce because we're gonna have a ton of opinions.
So listen,
So I don't want you to feel. I don't want you to feel weighed down.
Okay,
I don't want you to feel weighed down by our opinions. So you go first.
This is
Oh,
what's
go
gonna
ahead.
happen. I'm gonna go first, and then all three of you can just.
Further.
I'm gonna go first, and then all three of you can just have your rebuttal, and I'm just gonna be screwed.
Okay, then I will start it off by saying these things. This is why.
They're dumb.
This is why the gorilla is winning.
They're. I was gonna say deck style. I don't think.
You can-
Their
they
dexterity
can
is
grab.
much better than a grizzly. They can move.
Okay.
Go ahead. Just
I
tell us.
totally.
Alex
look,
says gorilla.
Look.
Yeah.
We feel you, big dog.
Hey, make sure you let us know how you feel about the subject in the
Okay.
chat.
I'm not trying to downgrade a silverback gorilla. In fact, the silverback gorilla is one of my favorite animals. Like, they're dope,
It
they're
is.
awesome, and don't get me wrong, they're huge. And one thing that separates them from a lot of other animals is their thumbs.
Yep.
Right? So, like, they can do a lot of things.
I mean, everybody knows
It's like,
monkeys, gorillas are the closest thing to humans.
Yeah.
Like build.
so,
structure.
like, picking up, a bear would just be like,
That's why they can swing.
with their claws and
They
stuff.
swing from limbs and branches and things.
This is why I believe,
Tom say gorilla.
Haven't you seen King Kong, Nick?
King Kong, you got shit on me.
this is why I believe that the grizzly bear would win.
Okay.
A grizzly bear, like, do you guys understand? Can you guys fathom how large a grizzly bear is?
It's
In
huge.
the water for sure, Alex.
Okay.
It's massive.
Now look. I'm not going to compare a human to a gorilla because gorillas are way bigger. But a grizzly bear.
Oh, well, that's the
One
only bear that
swipe,
would have a chance.
we would be
no other
killed.
bear would have a chance.
Okay, so I think at this point we need to set up how this would work. So are we talking about like these two things start from like 10 yards away from each other and take off running into
I'm
each
just saying
other?
they start scrapping.
Okay.
Well,
I don't
the
think.
speed of the grizzly, sorry to cut you off, but the speed of the grizzly is automatically out of the picture because if it's running, it's going to lose anyways. I mean, if it's running, it's not a fight. We're saying like it's set up in like an area where they have to fight. It can't just run around and keep running away. But to play devil's advocate to these two, obviously, if it can land a bad cut on the gorilla, it's really going to shake it up, obviously. But it's going against one of the most mobile animals
Let me pull it up.
in
Let me
the
pull up
jungle
some
or whatever
statistics.
in
Let me
comparison to a
Let's
person.
pull up some weight because this is what like kind of.
Like the weight is cool and all, but my whole thing about it is a grizzly bear can move, I'm sure, forwards very fast. A gorilla can move side to side, up and down. It can do
Think
all.
about people. Think about a middle linebacker on a football field moving
Like-
left to right, straight up, Graham Martin style, Luke Kuechly style, taking people out.
We're gonna fact
I
check.
disagree.
That's a hot comment.
Nick would love that comment. I
Hey,
don't know, just like
first off,
Thank you. Okay,
Don't
do you
throw any-
understand how much bigger the gorilla?
but you know how much more
Or how much
comfortable
smaller the
on
gorilla-
2 feet a gorilla is.
I get that.
Grizzly stands up, it can't move. I mean, it might be able to
You ever
slowly
seen
walk.
them fight? They stand up and they're like, you know.
Okay, and it's got its hands
they
up
look
here,
dumb.
and the gorilla just jabs it in the
Do you
gut one
understand
time.
like how sharp and how powerful they are?
Okay, but think about
They're
this.
way more powerful than a gorilla.
I'm not shitting on
All right,
the Grizzly.
you watch.
Yes, they are.
You
Yes,
watch.
they are.
I'm not
Don't
shitting
start.
You watch the. You
y'all
watch
are.
the. All right, let's stop yelling.
The fuck out of here. So, I'm not shitting on the Grizzly.
Thomas
bear.
said a gorilla is a lot stronger than a grizzly bear.
Okay, like I don't know if I'd go there, but my whole thing about it is if the gorilla
But it
gets
can use its
if
strength.
the
It has
gorilla
biceps
I just
and
want y'all to think about it
triceps
from this
and forearm
perspective.
muscles.
If the gorilla gets on top of the grizzly bear, it's game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, think about the Khabib-McGregor fight. Every time they started fighting, Khabib just whirled around him and had him by the neck. If a gorilla gets on a grizzly's back, it's done because it can just beat its brains in.
No. But you're saying if. These are all hypotheticals. What if the grizzly bear... What if
Thank you, Finn's.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
That's easy money.
Just read that.
Shout out Eric Anthony.
Think about that.
Okay, so I love you, Eric.
And in comparison,
So we're
going
going
to
to compare
a
a
gorilla.
chimp to a human being versus a gorilla to a grizzly
No,
bear.
but I'm just saying,
One of
like-
the largest land mammals. Well, you know, one of the... Because it's a beast.
No, they're
I'm not talking
just
about a
think,
little
like,
black bear.
If these
Like,
two
there's a
things
big
are right
difference.
here,
And those aren't even
a
like.
gorilla can get behind it before it can even get one big swing in because it's going to be a really slow swing.
Agility.
I mean, think if a gorilla. Have you seen the video of the two silverback gorillas like boxing each other?
Yeah, and they like
They're
push each
they're
other
throwing
back.
actual fists.
It's like two cars.
Think
hitting
about
each
that.
other.
There you go.
Think about how fast that is in comparison to how slow a grizzly's going to swing its claw. It's easily going to be able to dodge that if it can dodge a punch from another gorilla.
These things swing from trees.
Yeah.
Swinging fat ass nuts on the trees too.
It's true.
Jesus.
Well,
I'm
everybody has nuts.
Yes.
Oh well, ladies, I'm sorry, you don't.
Okay. 136, 195.
Treading on thin ice.
I said ladies.
I just don't see. I mean, obviously, a grizzly is gonna win. I just think if they fought 100 times, a gorilla would win way more.
Here's my point. Okay, I had to fact check it because I didn't want to sound stupid. So I pulled up how much the
Make sure
weight.
look up a silverback gorilla.
The weight.
That's just any gorilla. That might not be the biggest kind of gorilla.
Yes, it is.
No, that's
They don't get any
that's
bigger.
that's.
Like the Kodiak
So
bears.
listen.
I'm just saying, like the gorilla's King Kunta.
So listen. Gorilla's King Kunta. Yet, an adult male grizzly bear can weigh anywhere from 300 to 850 pounds.
Somebody made a point for you.
However, the biggest grizzly on record
You need all the help you can
weighed
get.
1,200 pounds and stood 10 feet tall.
Think about how slow that thing's gonna be.
1,200 pounds, okay? They're supposed to run 35 miles an hour, so that one probably will be slower, but still.
But their
Listen,
speed of the
hold on.
running
Can I
doesn't
make my
matter.
second point?
Yes,
Go
second
ahead.
Can I make my point? Because this is a
Sorry.
1v3 right now. Just
Okay, go
let me make some points. Okay? While the gorilla, the biggest gorilla,
Julie, I fucking love you so much. You
it
have
says on this website that it's 195 kilograms, which converted is about 425, 30 pounds.
etc.
So,
It says 32.106.
Be accurate.
430 pounds versus 850 pounds. It genuinely is almost twice as big. It's twice as much weight. So I'm not like, if the gorilla didn't have the thumbs and the agility it had,
No, yeah, obviously
there
it
wouldn't be an
would.
argument, of
No.
course.
Because it'd be like a bear fighting a smaller bear.
But I think like the sheer okay,
I
if I knew how to fight,
Yeah.
I don't. I'm the last person that would ever fight somebody because I'm gonna get destroyed. Anyway.
At least you got the reach on.
I weigh like 175. That would genuinely be like me getting into a MMA fight with somebody that, what's 175 times 2?
Yeah, but that's
350 or
another
something?
human who is also as mobile
That's
as
fair.
you are.
That's fair, but I'm talking about weight. So you're right. That's a good point. But like, could you like twice as much?
I would be interested to know how quick a grizzly bear could turn around. Because if the
Yeah.
gorilla got behind it,
I
it's
just-
game.
obviously-
Like, it would have no chance.
Obviously,
It
a
would be
gorilla's
over
not
from
going to
that
win every
point.
time. If the grizzly lands a cut on it, it's probably done for. But I think more often than
It's
not,
actually Leonardo DiCaprio.
I think more often than
Leo.
not, the gorilla would win just because it's so much more mobile.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you guys never seen The Revenant?
Yeah, it's a human.
I know, I'm kidding.
It's like Isaac fighting a grizzly bear. Imagine that. Or me fighting a grizzly bear.
I just want to say
Hashtag Leo finally getting a fucking award.
Yeah, for real.
That's a little outdated.
But yeah,
still.
like,
True.
yeah, that's, God, Leo. But anyway, sorry.
Wolf of Wall Street, come on.
Yeah, true.
So,
anyways.
it's just like the main thing for me, my, I guess, key argument is just the size.
Yeah.
Like, the dexterity of a gorilla obviously wins that. The thumbs, he wins. It allows him to fight better. You know, you ever seen a grizzly bear fight? It's kind of awkward looking.
Yeah. Well, the thing
I've
is,
never seen either one of them.
the majority of attacks that a grizzly, I just think I can make my decision by watching a video of both of them fighting because grizzly fights are so slow. Like when they go at each other, they just kind of get up, they do that, they try to
That's
bite.
also because they weigh
When
700
gorillas
pounds.
fight each other, they're like moving and stuff like humans are when they're boxing. Obviously not to that
But
level.
they're bigger objects. Like, they're way bigger, so it may look slower. That's like you get to 7 feet. Anyway.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, God.
Mother Teresa.
I'm sorry, Mother Teresa.
Yeah, be careful.
One of the greatest mothers of all time.
Yeah.
I just said that. That was cringy.
But seriously, like,
Spell check.
stop check.
Spell check.
I don't even
Anyways,
know who half these
accurate.
people are, so appreciate you guys coming through.
hey, thanks for watching.
But I think the size is really what separates them.
Okay. So
I had to make a point.
anything, any fight. I'm not a big fighter either. I've got my ass kicked a couple times, and
The taser was, I think that's really what killed you.
That's the real question we need to be asking. Who's got the bigger schlong?
I don't know.
a gorilla.
Okay.
And even if he
Well, I
doesn't,
don't
even
know.
if he
I don't know.
doesn't,
Pretty
the
neat.
grizzly bear has got all that fucking hair, so his dick ain't hanging out quite as much because it's like pubes almost.
I'm
just saying, like the gorilla's like more.
All right, let's talk about them fighting.
I thought they were
Winners.
limited position-wise, too, but continue.
I think they are limited. That's a fun fact. That's a fun fact for y'all. But when you think about people
TDS
fighting,
after dark.
oh yeah, when
Pull it together.
when you think about people fighting,
Yeah.
you have to be agile. You have to be able to like duck and move. You got, you know, that's just kind of like maneuver. Nice. But I just think that the grizzly bear will be limited in that way. Is like the gorilla could go back, jump forward, left to right. I just think it could run circles around it.
I think so, too.
So I think even in like, because obviously all this is just hypothetical anyway. But I think even if the gorilla or the grizzly bear got a big ass swipe in, obviously it'd fuck the.
It would depend on where he hit it.
Yeah.
It'd still fuck it up regardless.
Right.
'Cause that's a big ass paw. I mean that thing's huge,
Sharp claws.
sharp as hell. But I think it could wear it down
Yeah.
if it was an extended fight. I just think it could wear it. I mean, this is all hypothetical.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm trying to mask my emotion.
But I think it could wear it down. Now, granted, speed wise,
Matty
if that matters,
Luke, do you hear that?
Matty Bum.
speed wise, if that matters, I know a grizzly bear can outrun a gorilla.
Yeah, but
They're all
it's not going to be
fours.
running away. We're saying if they
So-
fight.
Right.
In nature, it could just run away.
So
But
one of your points, I'll respond to two of your points if I can remember both of them. The first one was
I need to make a point and just say.
The first one was how you think that it could run laps around it. Here is my point. The grizzly bear is so large that I don't think the fight would last very long if he was able to get a good swipe. Because you got to think of how much, no bias involved, how much power. Like, I understand that gorillas are very strong, but you talking about an 800-pound grizzly bear, how powerful they are. So I think that, if the grizzly bear could catch the gorilla.
19 viewers, thank you guys.
I feel like the good, kind of what you're saying, though, is, so imagine it like this. Imagine Floyd Mayweather boxing Mike Tyson. if Mike Tyson did land a hit, yeah, he would probably knock him out. But are you going to hit Floyd Mayweather? Is the Grizzly
I'm not saying
Bear...
I
Are you going to talk about Iron Mike
example.
Tyson?
Exactly.
I don't know if I can agree with that because he also doesn't have claws.
A gorilla is not the most agile creature in...
It's not the most agile, but I think it's more agile than
that was
a
really
grizzly bear.
I don't know if I agree with that example, but the point I was going to make
I don't agree with that.
When you're naming off the weights, I feel like a gorilla can use the majority of its weight. It can use almost 400 of the 430 pounds or whatever because it's in its arms, it's in its legs, and it's in its core, which it can use. Whereas a grizzly, maybe it's 800 pounds, but the majority of that weight right there in its stomach is not put to use. The swipe is just going to be its arms and shoulder muscles, which are, obviously it can't use all of them because it can't go like this. It can't do all that with its arm. Its arm's just like almost locked into a place.
I think that the lack of mobility on the grizzly bear is compensated because of how much he weighs.
But I just don't see what's that weight going towards, because that doesn't necessarily mean its arm's going to be
Well, you know
strong.
what? I don't know the science behind it, but I know that grizzly bears can
I just feel
deal
like
some damage.
there's probably a lot of that's probably fat because bears hibernate.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of wasted weight right there in the middle, and it can't use that.
Yeah.
Like, what's it going to do? It's not going to tackle the gorilla. You know, a gorilla could easily get out of the way of that. You know, so I don't know. I'd like to see that someday. Just kidding. I don't want to see.
We got to come to a conclusion about this.
I mean,
Nick's wrong.
I guess we can like. I mean,
1,000%.
I think it would be. I think actually the reason it's such an intense argument is like. I think the reason it's so good is because it would be close.
I mean, that's what I was saying. Is obviously a gorilla's not going to win every time, but in my opinion.
Thank you. And a gorilla doesn't have claws.
Man.
We saw who won that one.
Yeah. Nah, that was off guard. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah,
we could get some legal trouble for that.
Jacob says grizzly bears have thick fur and a lot of fat under that.
That's true.
It could stand a lot of damage from a gorilla. But the gorillas have less hair and some skin is exposed. One good swipe from grizzly and the gorilla would bleed out.
That's what I was saying is, obviously a grizzly could land a mean hit and win. But I feel like a grizzly's got about one move. It's working with one thing.
Yeah, but
a gorilla could like choke it out. It could
with all
beat
that
it on the
fat,
top of the head.
With all that fat, a punch from a gorilla or whatever, because they don't scratch. It would be really. That's very true.
I'm sure they do have some
really
claws,
hard
though,
to penetrate.
I don't know if they bite their nails or whatever, but
yeah.
I feel like the fur kind of adds to the gorilla argument though too, for the fact that it's something for the gorilla to grab onto.
True.
Because like
it could grab on.
It could grab onto that fur and get on the back of it, and then from that point.
God, we just need to have a fight break out of the zoo or something.
For real.
That's how we can.
I would
settle
pay
the argument.
so much money to watch that.
This is like the age-old argument.
We do not consent to the harming of any animal.
PETA.
No.
Just bring up an example of something that actually happened in history. Would your other kid fall into a gorilla enclosure or a grizzly bear enclosure?
Oh, he's bad anyway.
I was about to say he's
gorilla. Because when that kid fell in, all the gorilla did was pull him. R.I.P. Harambe.
Gorilla.
All it did was pull him. Yeah, that's true.
Dude,
I don't know what point I'm trying to make, but that kind of transition.
I wonder. I always thought about this after seeing that video. Though, I wonder if it wasn't.
All he did, he was just trying to protect the kid.
That's a fact.
I wonder if it wasn't the kid. If it wouldn't have been a kid that fell in there. So say it was somebody like Chris. Or like somebody bigger, like a grown adult. I wonder if it would have reacted.
No, it probably would have beat the crap out of him. It probably would have beat the soul out of us.
Yeah.
I think it just I think it was more like even though it was I'm pretty sure it was a male gorilla. It was Harambe was a male. I feel like it was like a parental
20
instinct.
viewers.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I wonder like how they perceive us, and like because they see people at the zoo, like obviously in the wild they don't really see many people, like on safaris and stuff, but like I wonder how they perceive people, and I wonder like when Harambe saw that little kid in there, they're like, oh, that's a young person, they're new to life. So
well, you saw
I wonder if he was like, okay, well I should probably like keep it safe.
Well, I went to the Philadelphia, so y'all saw how the gorillas acted towards the babies. They weren't aggressive at all. I mean, obviously those are gorillas, but humans and gorillas, humans and monkeys are the closest two species to be an exact. Obviously, they're the closest thing to us. We're the closest thing to it. So I feel like that was just like a natural thing. Like fairly the same. We are more straight up, but still.
I feel like if you would put somebody like a bigger person, like if you would put like a bodybuilder in there or like a large man, it would have took it as a threat and it would not have gone the same.
I feel that.
Well, I'm sure the kid was crying and stuff too, so it was like, like calm down, like. And the reason they did it, obviously, I don't think they should have killed the gorilla, but is because it grabbed it and pulled it because it can do that with a gorilla baby. Gorilla babies are a lot tougher than human babies.
Right.
Which I understand why they did it, because they thought it was in danger, and that would have been a hard time getting that kid out of there. But I just don't think it was right to kill him. But
I do too.
That's a whole other subject.
And there's Good so point, many there's so many points about animals and stuff.
True.
But there's always the lion versus tiger. But as I've gotten older, I've always heard that tigers would destroy a lion. So
tigers are bigger.
Oh, tigers are bigger.
Yeah.
If you had to be scared of one,
I know they're both cats. I know it's like the similar build and stuff.
That's an interesting question. If you had to be scared,
but they also are both about the same dexterity-wise. Like they both move the same.
I know.
What animal are you scared of the most?
I can answer yours.
Yeah.
In the ocean or on land?
Oh, mine's in the ocean, but
sharks.
Yeah,
sharks, without a doubt.
Well, I mean, it's just I'd probably agree with that because when you're in the water, you're out of your element.
The lack of mobility for us is
land,
just insane.
Like if you're decently fast, maybe you got a shot.
It don't matter if you're fucking Michael Phelps.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
They're built to move in the water. So probably sharks. But outside, let's go outside of the water. That makes it a little bit easier to talk about. Because obviously in the water, you're screwed. No matter what's coming after you, if it's decently sized, you're probably gonna lose.
Like I used to be that dude to be like, try to act like a hard ass and be like, oh, I respect the ocean. I'm not scared of it. No, I'm 1,000% scared of the ocean.
Oh, I'm scared of it too. I'm gonna get in.
I agree.
Have you guys seen I think they're jellyfish of some sort. And they're extremely poisonous or dangerous.
Portuguese man of wars.
They're in Australia, off the coast of Australia.
They're all kinds of places.
They're on the beaches.
But they're called Portuguese.
And they're
near Portugal too.
They're on the beaches. They're on the beaches, and you can step on them. They're all over. It's super dangerous.
You're talking about these things.
Yeah, and you can barely see them too.
Yeah,
that was the thing. You can barely see them.
They're freaky.
I actually have a story about those animals. I know she's not watching the podcast. She's a straight fucking bitch. But I used to work with her at Mellow Mushroom, and
all right, let's get a little deeper.
When she was living in Florida, her sister.
We're not getting that follow if she ever watches.
Her sister got stung by the Portuguese man of war.
Did she survive?
And whenever they pulled her out of the ocean,
Julie said she loves you, by the way.
Julie, I love you more than anything. They pulled her out of the water, and those prawns.
She was Spanish.
Were still
Portuguese.
Jesus. All right, guys.
Those prongs were still sticking in her leg, and apparently, her fever shot up crazy ridiculous to 103, 104 degrees, and she was shaking, her body was shutting down. And they told her that if they hadn't have got her to the hospital, within 30 minutes, that it would literally have shut her central nervous system down.
That's insane.
That's how powerful those things are. It's just that's why kind of bringing this full circle. That's why you have to respect nature, and you have to also understand that
snakes.
You go into somebody's territory. You walk into somebody's yard.
Yeah.
And you need to know the repercussions of your actions.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with animals. They're just doing the same thing.
Mosquitoes, Alex, because they spread diseases.
Another reason
to
feed on what we were talking about earlier about the gorilla versus the grizzly bear. I feel like the grizzly bear has more people or more animals in the jungle try to attack it than a grizzly bear does, because a grizzly bear is so big. I'm not sure, I could be wrong, but I doubt it has very many predators.
Like caribou or elk or moose.
So I'm saying a grizzly bear fighting a caribou or something, I'm sure that'd be pretty wild to watch too, but pretty easily the grizzly bear is going to tank that thing.
It can land a hit a lot.
There's so many things in the jungle though that a gorilla has to deal with.
Yeah. True. Panthers.
Yeah, I was thinking
Gorillas
jaguars
are gonna have a lot
specifically.
more.
Have you guys
Tarzan picks that thing up.
Have you guys always heard like
gorillas?
gorillas?
Gorillas.
Gorillas, both.
Have you guys heard about like how aggressive and how many people hippos kill apparently in Africa?
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
most dangerous
Well,
animal.
they're one of the most territorial animals,
Yeah.
and obviously their territory's not huge.
Yeah, and I didn't realize they move as fast as they do.
Oh,
Dude,
Yeah, they can fly.
yeah, look up the speed. Look up how fast a hippo can run.
The thing I looked up says that
30
miles per
30
hour.
miles per hour
in the water or on land.
on land.
30 miles per hour.
The thing that I read says mosquitoes are responsible for the most human deaths because they spread illness.
And they're bred for water. It says while they're bred for water, they have no problems on land. They've been known to run up to 30 miles per hour,
God, that'd be
even outrunning humans.
Imagine
The
how
biggest of
big a
them can
gorilla.
grow up to weigh around 3 tons. That's
6,000 pounds.
6,000 pounds.
6,000.
Yeah,
600
that's crazy.
pounds.
Wow.
600 pounds? 6,000 pounds. You said 6,000.
In Africa, it's estimated
6,600 pounds.
Yeah.
Because it's 1,200's a ton, right?
2,000. 2,000.
Fuck me, see?
Because you didn't take calculus.
Stay in school,
Yeah.
kids.
It says in Africa, it's estimated that 2,900 people a year are killed by hippos.
So I guess I'm the most afraid of mosquitoes, but yeah.
Well, you don't live in a...
I think Nick is
somewhere
most scared
where-
of mosquitoes.
Alright, so back to the land animals. What's the land animal? We'll exclude the hippo that you're most
I was
scared of.
honestly thinking jaguar.
Really? Like cats?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Honestly, to me,
I feel like
it's like a super, I guess it's just like a super crazy fear. Man, I just totally don't fucking like snakes.
I don't like snakes.
That's fair, dude.
Because you got to think about,
It's also something that we worry about here.
right,
Yeah.
so
It's like
the,
something we're
the
used to.
venomous snakes, that you see, you know, copperheads, rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
But these, dude, people around the world have like fucking black mambas.
Yeah.
And like,
I don't understand how people are comfortable just playing with snakes and stuff.
have
Like,
you seen
that's
the
something I will never be
Yeah,
able to
I-
do.
King
I've never-
cobras and stuff.
Yeah, I've
like,
never
bro,
got
those
that.
are the scariest.
Have
looking
you
snakes,
seen
for sure.
this dude? I don't know what the hell it was. I was scrolling through Snapchat the other day, and they got these videos. Well, there's this dude who literally has like all these crazy, super ridiculous venomous snakes. The black mamba, some insane name. It was really cool. All these cobras, and
bet.
he's been getting bit by these snakes
I think I've seen something about
all the
that.
time. And he's working with some scientist or doctor, and he's been giving himself slow, like,
Isn't he trying to like build immunity to it pretty
yeah.
much?
I watched him in that Snapchat video get bit by a black mamba and some other snake, like back to back, and the motherfucker was just sitting there.
That's insane.
He was like, I can feel my blood rushing. I can feel myself getting warmer. He said, no other person in the world could talk to you like I am after being injected with that much venom. I'm sitting there.
Isn't the black mamba the one? What's the one that makes your blood turn solid?
I know that as a fact, but I don't know which one it is.
Because I feel like there's no way you could build immunity to that. That has to be something like a reaction from the venom in your blood that causes it to do that. I don't know how you could build immunity to that.
I don't know.
Like I don't know how that would make sense.
Yeah,
But
snakes are honestly like a lot of the most dangerous animals are small, like insects or
Spiders.
spiders.
there's frogs this big that could kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
The frogs from the Amazon.
yeah.
The spotted ones.
I'm sure. Like
frogs.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
spotted tree frogs.
Poison dart frogs.
Poison dart frog. My
Put that one
man.
out there.
Yeah. Coors Light.
Mountains.
Yeah,
of
like
Blue.
We could use a sponsor.
Alex asked, "What mascot would you use if you had a sports team?"
Ooh.
Why do you react like that, Chris? Does he know the answer to that?
No, but my
A ghost did it, Thomas. We're not going to talk about it. But
my
a ghost did it.
oh, damn it. My favorite sports name, like as far as like with no mascot, with no name, is the coolest name ever, and it's the Warriors. That is
I was going to say the Raptors.
fucking dopest name ever.
Go. Raptors.
It is. It is. It's the dopest name. The
Warriors is an awesome name.
The
Yeah, it
Warriors.
is. It really is cool.
Mascot.
The Brave.
Eric, you're a living.
Let's all-
you're a living fucking legend, Eric Anthony.
Let's all cover this topic because I'm interested to see what everybody says for this.
I guess.
I'd have to put a lot of thought into
I guess with like an animal. Obviously with a mascot, it's regional.
Yeah.
So like if for instance, like if I was in Florida, I would obviously be the Gators
Yeah, that's a cool.
because that's cool as hell.
Sounds cool.
And it's a ferocious animal. It's on the top list of most kills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess like living in North Carolina, it'd have to be something like fearsome.
Rednecks.
Scariest topic of them all.
Meth heads.
Yeah.
What I would want to do, besides an animal, then I'll go to you guys, would obviously be something like devil related, because that's just hilarious to me. Fuck the Blue Devils. But I guess I would do something like ferocious, like a bear or like a copperhead or like
Grizzlies is a cool name. I
something.
never had that.
It's
fun.
a dope
it really
ass name.
is.
It's a dope ass name.
I would say, for me, has to be a wildcat.
I need you to leave.
So
That's not true.
So
That's
your
a joke.
So your actual
Definitely
answer
a joke.
is the Warriors or Warriors.
I don't
It's-
know my
it's
actual
gotta be
answer.
an
Give me
animal.
just a second.
Oh,
No.
It has to be an animal. That was this question.
Based on what I think the coolest.
So if it has to be an animal, then do you know yours, Bryson?
No, skip me.
What about you?
I don't know quite yet. I kind of, to be honest, like it's generic and basic. I like Panther. That's
Yeah,
Panthers.
Panthers.
Is pretty
That's
cool.
my favorite
Panthers.
animal.
That's a
Go
pretty
Panthers.
cool. That's a dope name.
Yeah.
So
I think mine would be.
Hashtag
Rattlesnakes
Ace-
is cool.
Ace Boogie
Rattlesnakes is a
USA.
cool one.
Yeah. Eric,
Copperheads is
The
a
Warriors
cool
is a
one.
great movie.
It's
Yeah, it really is.
Great
fantastic.
movie. Have you watched it?
Not all the way through.
Yeah, it's so good.
So what was
that,
yours?
that old school game, the PS2
He said
game,
That shit was. I was
Panthers.
just talking.
fire.
I think the Grizzlies is a cool one. As much as I've been dogging on them for the gorilla
Yeah,
fight.
that was probably loud.
got 'em. Sorry if you're wearing
Sorry,
earbuds.
guys. Yeah.
We got pumped. I mean, it is
Hey,
what it
man,
is.
you know what? This TDS podcast this is what we do.
He said,
My favorite.
he said the more it's a homeless man who's too aggressive asking for change and make you feel intimidated even though he just ate a chicken.
Eric's got to get on there in the next few weeks. Like,
Yeah.
he's got to get on
he's
there.
gotta
Eric,
be on here.
when we do ghost related stuff, you're going.
And the weird thing is, like, nobody really knows where we are besides, like, close friends, I guess.
You don't really understand
We're
how
in
to
a-
like.
Yeah.
We're in a big 3-story house. Like, we're
Let's
upstairs
go to
right now.
1929.
Built in 1929. And we're upstairs right now. And there's
8 rooms.
8
10
bed-
rooms.
8 bedrooms
I
maybe
think
up
that's
here.
included downstairs.
2 bathrooms up here. And then there's 2 layers below us that are just as long and big. So
Cinder blocks.
it's a crazy,
weird.
it's a spooky place, but like it's really cool.
Love you,
Obviously, it's
Luke.
our family.
See, Eric.
But yeah, you gotta be a guest speaker. So that's
Yeah, for
we
sure.
gotta start doing that.
Yeah,
too.
and like
Yeah.
besides from being like a super smart, like super sexy, badass motherfucker like Eric Anthony is.
Paranormal is my expertise.
Good.
So you said Panther.
I probably if I had to say one, I'd
This,
say Panthers.
this would change, I'm sure, if I did a bunch of research and like really thought about it. But right now, I'm gonna say Grizzlies. I think that's a cool name.
I think mine would be the Honey Badgers. I like
That's
that.
That'd be
cool
a
as
cool one.
fuck.
That is cool. I
That
like
is
that.
That would be
cool.
really cool.
That's-
You can make some really cool
Honey
ones
badger don't
with
give a
that.
goddamn.
I was going to say
Also,
a Honey
like,
Badger would be
not
dope.
just taking a jab at Alex, but I really think Raptors is a cool name.
It is a cool name because it's a cool. Well,
It's like one of the
prehistoric
it's
animal.
like one of the
Yeah,
only
for real.
dinosaurs you could use. You
Yeah.
couldn't say like the T-Rexes or like the Stegosauruses or
Yeah.
Triceratops. Like that just doesn't sound good. But Raptors sounds awesome.
You thought about that, Bryson.
Yeah.
You must.
Well, no, I've been sitting here thinking like I couldn't decide between that and Grizzlies, but I like those two.
The Sea Slugs.
The Dolphins,
Word.
Dolphins is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Sharks is cool.
black jerseys.
Yeah. Like okay, so what about like existing teams? I personally hate this team. I have a massive vendetta against
Penguins.
this team.
Bro, how did I know that?
No, it's
I have
Yeah.
a massive vendetta against this team. Sidney Crosby, I'd like to see him take a truck to the mouth. I think he's a bitch. But anyway, but that's a cool ass name. Cool ass
Really
name.
is. Penguins is really unique, and so is like the Ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't. They obviously don't strike fear in
It's
your
always
heart.
like the most unique.
But I'm not going to be scared based on a team's name anyways if I'm playing against
I feel like it's always
They
the
call it
most.
the London Silly Nannies.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always the most unique names that are cool, like the penguins and the ducks and stuff like that. Versus like, obviously, I made a joke a couple of minutes ago about the Wildcats. That's obviously the most generic, basic name.
I think that's a
possible.
cool sounding name, but
a
when you
dumb
know
name
what
for
it
a high
actually
school
is,
team.
it's just like...
Yeah. I feel like it's always one that stands
Another
out.
one that I think is awesome is
Drone
the
Grizzlies.
Dragons. I think
Drone
the Dragons
Dude, we
is
definitely
awesome.
should have been the Dragons.
Or the
Yeah.
Grizzlies.
I was
That'd
so
have been lit.
heated that
Okay,
we
so
were not the
picture
Dragons.
this. Picture this. A team named
Dragons
the Dragons, a football team.
Yeah.
When they run out of their tunnel, it's a dragon head and flames shoot out beside them.
Hey, hey!
That would be the
Hold up.
coolest thing of all time.
Didn't y'all hear about Isaac? Oh, Isaac, I know you like dragons, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Dragging these nuts across his mouth.
Yeah.
I heard that one.
But,
So yeah, guys, we just TDS is now 3 members.
Yeah, Chris is out.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. Just
He'll figure it out.
Yeah, I agree. Dragons is definitely sweet, Alex.
yeah, Dragons.
That's one I've always thought would be cool. And you could make some awesome jerseys
Yeah.
and everything.
You could have like on the side of people like obviously like the Tar
I think
Heels.
purple and black would be perfect for the Dragons.
Purple and black, or brain fart, or like green and purple.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But like think
I
how
just feel like green and
the
purple
Tar
on a
Heels have like the
uniform would look
Argyle down the side.
Yeah.
It'd be dope if it was like a dragon, like a flame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be sick with
Yeah.
some really cool.
But you could have some like dragon wings on the helmet.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We need to have another like.
Julie said red and black. That would be pretty cool for the Dragons.
Tommy, he'll figure it out.
There's a lot of like arguments you can have for animals and stuff though, so we'll have to like think of some
Yeah.
more and do some more.
Let's stick with animals. I think we should stick with that just for a second, just because that's what we've mainly been talking about. Well, I was gonna say, what is y'all's favorite animal? Like, we just make this quick. I'm just curious.
Favorite animal?
I'm so indecisive.
Panda.
Yeah, that's
top,
easy.
Yeah, Chris.
Panda.
Chris
This
is
is panda.
My top 3. I'll say I know a red panda is in my top 3, especially
Okay.
after seeing them in person.
God,
That
they're
is one of
so
the
awesome.
most like curious, like
Yeah.
interesting animals just to watch. Also,
So good.
what are the water animals? I'm having a complete
Otters.
Otters.
That's my
Otters.
favorite. Otters are my favorite.
Those are in my top 3, and I also like panthers. Like,
We're right
I guess
beside
they're
them.
panthers aren't. There's not. I don't think there's technically a panther, but
so cute.
I like jaguars, but only the ones that are black. So panther.
That makes sense.
I mean,
What's
yeah.
yours?
Otters. Probably an otter. I would say gorilla. Because I like gorillas a lot, but
Otters are cute.
yeah, otters are.
I really hate to sound like such a
Alex said
basic.
sea otters, not river otters.
River otters are awesome too.
I hate to sound so
they're my
basic in
favorite.
saying this, but like,
Just say it.
it's probably gotta be a lion. Like, I'm sorry.
Lions
I
are
know
really
that's
cool.
basic, but I've always, since I was a kid, like, maybe Lion King had an influence or something, but I've always just
Speaking of
thought
that,
lions were
Ready for
awesome.
that movie.
King of
For real.
King of the Jungle. Like, I don't know, I just always
There's
thought they
something
were
basic
cool.
about liking
No,
a lion.
it's
Lions
awesome.
are dope. I'm
Okay,
I'm
he
a
just makes me
Leo.
feel bad about liking a lion.
I'm a
Dude,
Leo.
oh, this
Let me
guy.
tell you one.
Sorry.
Julie said Chris is my favorite teddy bear. Well,
He always makes you think like, wow, you're so basic for thinking a lion is the.
I don't think.
Nothing wrong with
Thank
lions.
you guys for
Lions are
backing
Now,
cool.
if you
Yeah.
said like a dog, I'd be like,
Fuck off, Isaac.
Okay.
like a cat, like a normal house cat. Can we talk for a second about how cute the red pandas were at the Philadelphia Zoo?
Man,
That was one of the cutest creatures I think I've ever seen. in my life.
I like zoos as a human, but I hate that. Like,
I
it's a
hate
thing.
zoos.
I hate they're a thing.
I love
Yeah.
going to zoos, but that's me being
Yeah.
selfish.
we're just animal lovers, and it's,
Yeah.
it's easy to see. Like, okay, cool. I get to see all these exotic animals that I'm never gonna get to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you feel bad because they're in captivity, and a lot of them have a lot more room, obviously, in the wild. But there's a lot of really positive things that the zoos have done for animals. They've taken endangered animals and you know.
I definitely think rehabilitating animals that need it is good, but I think having an animal in a zoo from birth is just not. Like,
Yeah.
at least give it a chance in the wild.
Yeah.
Don't raise it a couple years and then put it in the wild because it's going to have no idea how to survive.
Exactly.
But from
That's the
birth,
problem.
but also I can see where if, and I don't think animals in zoos should be allowed to reproduce. Because if they reproduce and you put them in the wild, there's no mother to take care of it. There's no nothing to take care of it. So I just don't think it's fair to raise one in captivity its whole life.
We completely went off topic, but it's actually a good.
And I think
Thomas said, God, that's a deep point. He said zoos are the only prison that all the things in there are innocent.
God, Thomas,
God,
this
spitting knowledge.
going into freshman year, dropping knowledge bombs and
Socrates.
Jesus, that's true though. Like,
I think Thomas was that philosophical.
that would suck. Like,
Thomas, I want to hug your neck right now.
yeah, zoos, they're awesome to go to though, but I just hate that they're there.
Yeah.
But the last thing, our last topic really was just the fact that, like we talked about it last week, but obviously we want to talk about current events. And last night,
I'm so
Golden
glad
State.
we're bringing this up.
Yeah, we didn't talk
about it.
We didn't talk
Golden
about
State,
basketball. We talked about the
Golden-
whole time last time. We might as well finish
okay,
off
so
with
they
that.
dropped 2 games
At
at
home.
home. You guys already know.
That's crazy.
Thoughts?
I mean, my opinion before was that to have a chance, the Raptors had to win the first 2 games at home, and then they lost the second one. And I was like,
Right.
okay, the Warriors are going to win.
That was
And
my
then
pick.
I was like, there's no way they're going to win either of those first 2 games in Oakland. And then Clay went out, and I was like, oh.
Okay.
So they won that one. And then they beat them with Clay.
My bad, guys.
And I don't even know what to say.
So my thought was like, Game 3, I thought, even though they were in the Bay, I was like, they might have a decent chance because the Warriors are so under. They don't have anybody. You know, Clay's out, Katie's out, Looney was out.
Yeah.
But Game 4, when Clay came back, I was like, I probably see the Warriors taking this.
Yeah. Home.
There's no way.
Even without Katie.
Down 2-1, and then
I agree with you, Alex. I think that's what's going to happen.
What?
you think Warriors are
I
going to
think,
win in
I think
7?
Warriors are going
RB
to win.
Justin.
You think KD's coming back?
I think, honest to God, because what happened with Katie's injury was kind of weird, and I hope to God it doesn't happen, but I really feel like, I'm not saying they set it up like that, because I really don't want to think that the NBA is rigged, but it wouldn't shock me if the Warriors came back and won in 7.
It's not happening.
The thing is
It
like,
wouldn't shock
I
me
hope
either,
it doesn't,
I don't
but it
want
wouldn't
to
shock
happen.
me.
it really wouldn't like super shock me, but at the same time, like,
It'd still be crazy.
you gotta understand that 2 of the last 3 games are gonna be in Toronto, where the energy there is right now is
The jungle.
Jurassic Park,
It's
baby.
called the jungle, right?
Jurassic
Jurassic Park.
Oh, I'm stupid.
Yeah, you are. You
No,
really
you're
are.
not.
Does anybody know if Fred Van Fleet
It happens,
is out
Julie.
next game?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Because he's been, I was about to say, because
Oh,
he's been hooping.
He just got his
Well,
chest-
It's
Not
all
only
good,
that,
Jacob.
he-
We appreciate you coming by.
That's Julie.
Not only that, that's Julie.
it's
Yeah,
their
it's just
sons.
under her name, Jacob.
Yeah.
That's your son, I believe.
I didn't know that this whole time. Sorry.
Because he's been playing some very important minutes for them.
Alex said he
Especially
sucks.
where
That's not
Kyle
something
Lowry
true.
hasn't been doing as well until like the last
Alex
few
is
games.
salty. Alex
Alex
is
is
salty.
hardcore salty.
You know what, Alex? I can't feel bad for you because for years now, you've had the most overpowered dynasty in NBA
True.
history.
Yeah.
Most overpowered. Not saying that they didn't deserve it. Because one thing I will say, every time Golden State comes up, one thing I respect about Golden State is that besides KD and maybe a couple other role players,
I'll fucking say it.
they built their system up like
Yeah.
drafted people didn't, acquire them in free agency.
Yeah.
And I respect that. Like,
They didn't do what the Yankees do.
yeah, exactly. They
That's
didn't
a-
buy their whole players.
Right.
That's a fact.
But
And you win a championship however
Screw the
way, but
Yankees.
it's commendable that like you
Go
can
Braves.
raise those.
But where it
players.
all starts is with a great coach.
Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr is the
Steve
best
Kerr.
coach there is.
Really?
Greatest coach of all
Literally,
time.
Steve Kerr is.
Honestly, probably the best three-point shooter of all time, too.
Now that's for sure.
Thoughts and opinions, Chris, on Steve Kerr for 3?
In case any of the 15 viewers
Let's get
in
back,
here
Chris.
don't know, Chris is not a fan of Steve.
Oh,
No, it's
he's-
not. I'm not just not a
He's
fan.
Steve Kerr's biggest fan.
I think other words could be used for what he is for Steve Kerr.
You spelled that wrong, Thomas, but yes, he is, in fact, the best player.
All right,
coach
Julie,
of
we'll
all
see
time.
you. But yeah, Thomas
Appreciate
said, let's
it,
make
Julie.
it true fact. Steve Kerr is the best player ever.
I mean, he was just honestly riding Jordan's coattails.
You mean Jordan was
Jordan
on
was
his
riding
coattails?
Yeah, Jordan was riding his coattails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Anyway,
We all know what I meant because it's true.
Oh, you motherfuckers are clown cheese.
deep breath.
We're not clowns, we're clowns.
All right, before Chris has a aneurysm or something, let's stop talking about
Fuck
Steve
Steve
Kerr.
Kerr.
We
Yeah.
put him through this every
So
day,
anyway, I'm really interested to see.
Every day.
I'm really interested to see what's
Every
going to
time we
happen.
get
So the next game is Monday, I think. Right? Monday or Sunday.
Something like that.
I guess we'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that for a second. But we've been going for like an hour now, so I think
make sure if you enjoy our content and think it is interesting. God, struggle there. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel. We uploaded one vlog. Obviously, our podcast will be uploaded on there as soon as we go offline. They're also on Twitch, but if you don't mind, we'd rather you watch them on YouTube. But if you're watching them, thank you, because we need all the interaction we can get as a startup channel. But yeah, we appreciate it. Our vlogs are pretty funny. The last one, we put this guy through a hard time. These two as well, but Chris, he really put out for the squad. And
I like it.
So
you can count on more of that to come.
But yeah, make sure you check that out if you want to, and if you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe. We need as many subscribers and followers and stuff as we can get. So.
And if you are watching on YouTube, it should be in the link of the description. But just in case it's not, you can go on Twitch. You can find us. We're at TDS_podcast. And like we were saying earlier, it's a little harder to find us on YouTube. I would search TDS podcast, and you should find it there.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you have to put in the.
And our logo is just a white background with TDS in not cursive, but like some weird lettering in purple.
But the more you guys interact and subscribe and leave comments and like and stuff, the more we're put out there, like in the search bar or on the homepage. So like the more you guys interact and the more you guys can get us up there, we'll start to be noticed by more people, and it'll be easier to find us and stuff. So.
And also, the more that y'all interact, the more we will feel we should do this, and we'll put more content out.
For sure.
More and more.
Because we love to do this.
This has been a dream of all of ours for so long.
Yeah.
And so having people finally supporting it, well, obviously we just started, so having people supporting it now is insane. Like all the love we've gotten on our YouTube video, all the good compliments we've got, we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's honestly amazing.
We seriously, like I can't. I mean, obviously they said everything that I could have said, but I mean, it for real. Like it's badass. Like all love to you guys. We appreciate you sticking in with us, acting like a bunch of goofballs and talking about shit. But
keeping it fun.
We're all like huge. We're family. Like me, Bryson, and Nick are family, but this guy's family
too. Yeah.
So thanks for being a part of it, man.
I also want to say that. We're probably, I know these past 2 weeks we've gone live once a week. We're probably going to start going live twice a week, most likely on Wednesdays and Saturdays. But if you follow us on Twitch right now, when we don't get anything out of that, it's not like we get paid when you follow us. But if you follow us, you'll be able to see when we go live. So obviously we're going to go live every Saturday night at either 8 or 9. And also we're probably going to go live on either sometime during the middle of the week, most likely Wednesday. We think that'll be the time that we're going to go for, because we just want to be on Twitch and live streaming as much as possible, just because we want to get our faces out there and our opinions and everything, and hopefully people like it.
Yeah.
And also, this will be on YouTube, so down in the comments below or in the description, we can put our Twitter handles if any of y'all want to follow us on Twitter, because we tweet when we're about to start.
We always tweet out, not that we're trying to beg for Twitter followers. I mean, we could use them, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's the easy way to keep up with it, considering our YouTube channel is kind of hard to watch, or kind of hard to search for at the moment, because we don't have that much interaction.
Yeah. So anyway, just feel free, like we said, to go check that all out. But we appreciate you guys stopping by, and it's been fun.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
We'll see you on Wednesday or Saturday for sure.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, y'all.